reflecting.
Who is the most consistent conservative candidate? The consistent track record has been consistent as a consistent conservative. Consistent conservative. Consistent conservative. Consistent conservative.
I find myself at the Basilica every Sunday morning. We're close to Sings. And I just have such a sense of comfort.
Chicken crab.
Godspeed.
Up your game. I never thought I'd hear a president of the United States talking about upping our game.
I think we're going to come away from this debate with two words: consistent conservative.
I think there's a little bit of trouble anybody competing with me on consistency.
Hello, Mr. Know-it-all.
We got a bunch of emails from the last hour saying, Jerry, are you endorsing Ron Paul? No. Jesse, you did say, though, that I came about as close as you could possibly come without actually issuing an endorsement.
Right.
What I'm doing? What? No, I'm looking at the debates. I'm reading the stories. I'm doing my homework. I'm figuring out who's naughty and who's nice, and I'm not endorsing anybody. It's a process of coming to know who the candidates are, what they say, what they've said, and who I can believe is someone that's going to be consistent in what they say and what they do. And that's a process of elimination. I know a lot of people out there are coming forward saying, this guy's my guy, this is my gal, I got to do this, I got to do that. I understand what that's all about. But it's like they're jumping on board with whoever they think is going to win. It's not a belief system based on who they think is the right person for the job. They just don't want to be wrong. People in my business don't want to be wrong. They always want to be first. Exclusive. First. This is the first a cable interview after a Tuesday in which it snowed in the Sierras and never exclusive heard before here on the program. And then it's like, who are you going to endorse? Are you in? Do you want to declare on my program that you're going to run for president? Do you want to declare on the program that you're going to drop your run for the presidency? Do you want to declare on the program, now that you've dropped your run for the presidency, that you're going to endorse this person? And if you throw your endorsement behind that person, do you want to declare that you're not going to get back? It's all just gamesmanship. It has nothing to do with picking the right person for the job. So no, I'm not endorsing Ron Paul, but I'm a strong believer in consistency, in principle, in the Constitution. And the guy right now that has proven to be that person, or gal, have proven to be that person, is Ron Paul. And when it comes time for me to pick a candidate, I will. And if it happens to be the person that isn't the nominee, I'm just not going to throw blind support behind someone like Newt Gingrich and Mitt Romney. Not going to do it. You're going to give the election to Obama? You're really working for the Democrats? I always knew that you were a Nazi sympathizer. I always knew that you were... No.
Nazis?
No. Yeah, well, whatever. This... Where's the one I got here? Oh, let me tell you, this is the kind of stuff I get here. Heard your show trying to destroy the Republican Party. Everyone you mentioned makes you look like a mental dwarf. The sooner you meet your all-time super liberal idiots, Ted Kennedy and Adolf Hitler, the better the USA will be. Good riddance to human trash. You represent your party well.
Ted Kennedy and Adolf Hitler.
Yeah. That's me. I guess if I said to this guy, what's his name here? Jay from Mountain Home, Arkansas. I guess if I said to him, guess what, Jay? I am in solidarity with Jimmy Hoffa, the AFL-CIO, and the Teamsters Union. That would be proof positive that I am an Obama sympathizer, that I'm really a Democrat operative, right? Or I could be the Republican Senate minority leader.
What are the chances that a deal will be worked out before more than 150 million Americans get a payroll tax hike?
Yeah, that isn't going to happen, and obviously we'll reach an agreement. The president is posturing here. He'd have to stand up to the AFL-CIO. I'm on the same side as Jimmy Hoffa and the AFL-CIO on this. The Teamsters and the AFL-CIO want the Keystone Pipeline, want it now.
That would make me Senator Mitch McConnell. That's what it would make me. But you see, people right now are frustrated. They're confused. It's not all easy to figure out. You haven't told me what to think, and I can't have these conflicting thoughts in my mind. And one day the union's bad, supporting those smelly, pot-smoking, hippie, Occupy Wall Street people. And now you got the Republican Senate minority leader telling me that he agrees with Jimmy Hoffa. Can you just hear people's heads exploding all around the country? They just don't know what to do. It's like, wow, competing thoughts held in your mind at the same time. That's kind of what we do on the program. We take a look at who says what. And if it makes sense, if it's a good idea, they get the credit. If it's a bad idea, they take the heat. If it happens to help the Republicans, so be it. If it happens to hurt the Republicans, so be it. And the same for the Democrats. The truth will set you free. That's the beauty of being independent. That's the beauty of not going to the cocktail parties or the office parties at CNN or MSNBC or Fox or ABC, CBS, NBC, or going to the correspondence dinner. There's a certain independence, but there's also a certain isolationist independence that's necessary. Because I can say things about anybody because I don't have to worry about the fact that, well, they were nice to me at that party, or I'm going to that party, and, well, I really should hold back on what I think about that person because, well, they're going to be there. And I have no problem telling this to people's faces. But people have so many Ozies in my business. They have so many favors that they've done or they want to get done. They have so many things that they hope to accomplish. And what you're seeing in a lot of what people are doing in my business is they're turning into the Larry Kings of the world. Just the endless softball after the endless softball after the endless softball question. And never really pushing people. Donald Trump standing there with the focus group phony Hannity and the supposed constitutional conservative Newt Gingrich. Standing there with Donald Trump talking about commie China selling us crap. His clothes are made in commie China. They don't want to confront him. Why? Because they want his endorsement. I don't need Donald Trump's endorsement. I could care less about Donald Trump. He's the goo on the bottom of the shoe that you try and scrape off on the curb. He's useless to me. Now, if I was trying to get his endorsement, I can't say that. I can't bring up the fact while I'm standing right there in front of him while he's telling us about commie China, where his clothes are made. Why don't they confront him on that? Well, because then he might not come on the show. He might not invite me to his cocktail party. I might not be a member of some country club. And then that becomes then inconvenient for me to talk about who Donald Trump really is. He's just a pompous ass who's in it for himself. That's it. That's the beginning, the middle, and the end of Donald Trump. Flashy. Newt Gingrich paying homage. Who are all these supposed Republican leaders that go pay homage to Donald Trump? Why? To get his millions and millions and millions of people support that are supposedly going to vote for him? In an interview with the Sunday Telegraph, Donald Trump was asked why his endorsement is such a highly coveted prize for those who want to be president. And he said, I'm very handsome. It's my looks. It's because I represent the millions of Americans who wanted me to run and who are tired of this country getting ripped off by China and OPEC. China, where you make your clothes, Donald Trump. He said, they see me as someone who wouldn't allow this to happen. The candidates want my endorsement because those millions of Americans listen to me and respect me. They may listen to you, but they don't respect you. They just want the people that you supposedly think you have influence over to vote for them. This guy is supposedly a kingmaker? Really? Now he's trying to bail on his own debate by saying, well, equal time provision, and they asked me to promise that I wouldn't run as an independent. But if Ron Paul runs as an independent, then he's going to help secure the election for Barack Obama. So which is it? Now, with regard to endorsing Ron Paul, which I haven't yet, if I believe Ron Paul is the right guy, I'm going to be behind Ron Paul. And if the GOP determines it's Newt Gingrich or Mitt Romney, I'm not going there. How many times are we going to do that? How many times are we going to do that? The same guy who said I sleep with the fishes of Ted Kennedy and Adolf Hitler. I said to him, thanks for the insightful commentary. I said, I'm destroying the Republican Party? No, Jay. They've done that on their own. Doyle, Bush 43, McCain, and now the push for Newt. That's the best they have to offer. And here's another thing, Jay. I was the Republican nominee for California 24 in 2000. I put $100,000 into the race, walked away from a $50,000 a week job, and then was shunned by Hollywood for daring to come out of the closet as a conservative, as a Republican. I put my money where my mouth was. What have you done for the party besides send off some snarky emails to a talk show host? A lot of people out there have a lot of things to say. But what do you really do? You try to convince me that I'm supposed to suck up to John McCain or Newt Gingrich or Mitt Romney, that I'm supposed to one more time take a bite out of the apple with the worm in it because it's not Obama? Well, maybe sometimes a short-term setback is the way you have a long-term gain. And I'm not going to do it again. I know a lot of you will. And you'll tell me that I'm the problem. And then when your guy loses to Obama, or let's say your guy beats Obama and he gets in, and then he starts to stray from those constitutional conservative principles that they tell you you're all about, you go, wow, what happened? Well, 2016, we're never going to do that again. So we're going to have Doyle and Bush 43 and McCain, and then we're going to have Gingrich, and then we're going to have who? You're going to do it how many times you want to do this until you figure out it's not working? And if I decide that I'm going to get behind Ron Paul, I'm going to get behind him. And if he decides he's going to go third party, I'm going to follow him. And you're going to say, oh, it's just a wasted vote. Is it really? Is it really a wasted vote? That I decide that I'm going to vote my conscience, that I'm going to vote for someone who's principled and consistent and bases his decisions on the Constitution and who's been doing it for 30 years? That's a wasted vote? I would have suggest to you, my friends, that your votes are wasted if you don't have core convictions about Gingrich or Romney.